there, boys and girls. Welcome back to Gammie's Bedtime Stories. I'm Gammie, and I'm so happy that you could join me today for story time. Gammie thought that we would go outside today for story time, and I would like to wish all fathers happy Father's Day today. I hope you're enjoying your summer vacation, and without further ado, let's get right on in to our outdoor story time. Tonight's reading permission's been given by Cottage Door Press, and the name of our story today is Thumbelina. There was once a poor woman who lived in a cottage. She had no husband, but she longed to have a child. One day, she visited a fairy to ask her for help. "You're a good woman," said the fairy, "so I will give you this magic seed. Plant it and water it, and you will see what you will see." The woman thanked the fairy and did just as she was told. One day, then 2 days later, then 3 days passed, and nothing happened. But on the 4th day, a tiny green shoot popped up. It appeared. And on the 5th day, there was a flower bud with glossy pink petals wrapped tightly around the center. "What a beautiful flower you will be," smiled the woman, and she kissed it ever so gently. With that, the petals unfolded, and in the center of the flower was a beautiful little girl, the size of a thumb. The woman clapped her hands with joy. She was so happy. "I will call you Thumbelina," she cried, and she laid her new child in a walnut shell bed with a rose petal quilt. Thumbelina was very happy with her mother. Then one day, while her mother was away, an ugly, slimy toad crawled into the cottage. When she saw Thumbelina sleeping in the bed, she cried, "You'd be the perfect wife for my son." She grabbed the little girl and she crept out of the cottage the same way she had entered. When Thumbelina woke up, she was sitting on a lily pad in the middle of a stream, with 2 warty toads staring at her. Well, I bet that she didn't know what was going on. "This is your new wife," the mother said to her son. He opened his wide, toothless mouth in a grin, but all he could say was, "Croak." There's little Thumbelina. She doesn't know what's going on. "I don't want to marry a toad," said Thumbelina, and she started to cry. "Why, you ungrateful girl," the mother toad scolded her. "You'll stay here till you stop crying." The 2 toads jumped into the water and swam away. Thumbelina cried and she cried. Then a fish, why, that fish took pity on her and nibbled through the lily pad stem until it floated free. Thumbelina sailed gently downstream and escaped from the toads. At last, she drifted to the river bank and climbed onto dry land. Suddenly, a big brown beetle grabbed her with his claws. "Put me down! Put me down!" said Thumbelina. "No," said the beetle. "You must stay with me and be my friend." The beetle carried Thumbelina to a clearing. Another bigger, browner beetle was waiting for him there. He looked at Thumbelina and shook his head. "Oh, birdie, no, she's not the one," said the bigger beetle. "She can't stay here." The two beetles, well, they argued back and forth, waving their claws up in the air and pulling poor Thumbelina this way, then that way, until at last Birdie gave in and they let Thumbelina go. She ran off as fast as she could go. Thumbelina, she lived in the country all summer long. She missed her mama, but had no idea how to find her way home. So she busied herself collecting wild berries and making friends with the birds and the small creatures that she met. Then winter came. Thumbelina was so cold and so hungry and all alone. Luckily, a kind field mouse found her and invited her to stay with him in his burrow. She was so grateful and thankful that she said yes at once. Life underground was warm and snug, but Thumbelina soon missed the sunshine, and then Mouse's friend Mole asked her to marry him. Oh my goodness. I don't want to marry a mole. So now there's a mole wanting her to marry him. She doesn't want to marry the toad or the mole. I don't want to marry a mole, cried Thumbelina. And though I like living with you, Mouse, I sure do miss the sunshine. Well, you ungrateful girl, said the mouse and the mole together. So Thumbelina sadly agreed to marry the mole, and a date was set for the following summer. Thumbelina, she was just plumb miserable. Then one day, as she walked through the underground tunnels, she found a swallow, a little bird, almost dead with cold. She hugged the bird against herself to warm him. He slowly opened his eyes. "You have saved my life," said the swallow. "Come with me to the south, to the land of sunshine and flowers." Do you think Thumbelina's gonna like that, boys and girls? I bet she will. Let's see what she does. "I cannot leave Mouse," said Thumbelina. "He's been so kind to me." "Then I must go alone," said the swallow, stretching his wings. "But I will return next summer. Goodbye." Then he flew away. Months passed, and the day Thumbelina had been dreading arrived, the day she would marry the mole. As she waited for Mole to arrive, the swallow appeared again. "Come with me now," he cried. "I will," said Thumbelina. So Thumbelina flew away to the south with the swallow. As she explored her new home, one especially beautiful flower opened in front of her. There, in the center of the flower, was a fairy prince, no bigger than a thumb, with butterfly wings. "Will you be my wife?" he asked at once. "Oh, yes, I will," cried Thumbelina. So Thumbelina, wearing butterfly wings made especially for her, married the prince and became queen of the flower fairies. She did not forget her mother, and that very day arranged for fairy messengers to deliver a letter to her and a bouquet of the most beautiful flowers. And kind Thumbelina and her handsome husband, they lived happily ever after. The end. Well, boys and girls, Gammie hopes that you enjoyed our story this evening outside. First time we've done one outside. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, Gammie would love it if you would give me a big thumbs up and like, share, and subscribe. That helps Gammie's Bedtime Stories. That helps my channel so very much for you to watch it all the way to the end and give it a thumbs up and like it and share and subscribe. That would mean the world to me, and I would appreciate it so very much. And I hope that all the fathers out there have a very, very happy Father's Day. And until story time again, boys and girls, God bless you all and sweet dreams. Bye-bye.